All right, what's going on? I'm in a rush today, so we're gonna get the show done with the mic. I gotta go to the store. So that's kind of what I got going on. I gotta run to the store, and I'm sure I don't have to go to the store right now. I'm sure I could do it tomorrow, but I like the idea of getting the shit over with now. So what I'm doing is the wonderful, incredible son that I am just totally spaced a birthday gift for my mom. We went and got a coffee today, and everything was great there. And it just dawned on me right then and there. As per usual, my car cut the shit off. I don't know if the audio was good or bad, but I'm just gonna leave it in there. So if it's bad, then whatever. If you couldn't hear shit, then a quick recap. All I said was I'm going to the store to buy a gift for my mom. I could probably do it tomorrow, but whatever. Here we are. But yeah, we went and got a coffee. I bought her a coffee, whatever, kind of. I mean, she had rewards, so it's kind of like she got it for free. But yeah, I went and got a coffee, and it was great. I love my mom to death, so that was awesome. But I was like, holy fuck, I didn't even get her anything. So right now, fuck's sakes, dude. Right now I'm going to Target because I gotta go there anyway. So I was like, you know what? Well, I just need to go to the store. So I was like, okay, well, what if I go to Target and I find something for my mom there? So we're gonna see if I can. If I can't, then I'll just do it tomorrow. Not ultra worried about that. So yeah, going to Target now. So because that's why I'm dude, all these yellow lights, bro. Fuck. For one motherfucker, bro. You know what? That gets me upset more than anything. And I can complain and bitch and moan if I want. There's one goddamn car that's going a different direction. There's 50 going north and south. And the goddamn light switches for that one motherfucker. Why is it not for me, though? It's always for everyone else, but when I'm waiting, it's like, oh no, it's just Bryson. He's got all day. I checked his schedule. He's good. Oh, dude, feels good to let out some steam, huh? I'm doing that on purpose, honestly, because I haven't been able to in the last 30 days, but whatever. Anyway, so the whole reason why I'm recording a show now is because Lexi's coming over. Well, I have a call with Mina today. So today's Thursday, April 24th. Happy birthday, Mom. And so Mina texts me. We're talking back and forth. He's like, hey, man, sorry I haven't gotten back with you. You know, what's this resignation thing look like? Is it for sure? Like, what do you think? And I said, dude, I'm pretty certain that I'm going to get it. I feel really confident based on everything that I'm seeing. And yeah, I want to make this happen. He said, could you do the 2 to 3 hours? He said 3 this time. He said, could you do the 2 to 3 hours a day for the operation stuff? And I said, honestly, I want to say yes, but I can't overcommit and do that because I don't want to, because during the week I only have so many hours. You know, like if you really want to push it, you can say that I have 4 hours every weeknight. So from 4 to 8. Whoa, what the fuck? From 4 to, I mean, people be driving like fucking psychos. I have from 4 p.m. at the earliest to 8 p.m. at the latest to work, and you know that's assuming everything goes well and I get everything else done. So that's all the time I have. So to say that 2 to 3 of those every single day are going to be for that, I just can't do that. Especially because if I'm working for Brian now, I need that extra time to put in bigger work chunks into that, you know. And if it's going to pay me more and give me more opportunity, then I'd rather prioritize that. As much as Mina is a fucking cool ass guy, I think, you know, I just got to be real here. I need to do what's best for me, and I think working for Brian, that what the opportunity and exposure and things of that kind can do, because Mina's great, but his business is much smaller than PT Dominations, which is Brian's. Because Mina, for example, probably does 50, 60 grand a month. He's got 10 teammates total, probably, me being one of those. But Brian, he does, you know, like $1 million a month, and he's probably got 100 teammates, and he's got departments and organizations and all of this shit, right? So, you know, all feelings and emotions aside, I think Brian is the better opportunity to take advantage of right now. But Mina's a good fucking guy, and he's a large part of the story now for me, you know, because I posted in the group. I said, hey, I'm not doing well financially. I need, like, who can I contact with who can I contact to see if I can, or what did I say? I said I've had to take out more money on a credit card to afford the program because I'm not making anything. You know, I'm still pushing, but whatever. And then she reached out. She said, hey, you can be a shadow coach. She sent me a couple people. I applied for one. That guy, weren't a good fit. Next guy was Mina. He sent me a message. We got a Zoom call. I think I recorded the Zoom call. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know, because I was in and out parking lot when that happened. That's pretty funny. But then we started talking, and that's how I got set up with Mina. And that's kind of when I discovered, or when I was getting more and more motioning toward the whole, yeah, I like Excel, I like spreadsheets, I want to make my own software, I want to make my own shit, because this stuff is so cool to me. And that's kind of when I was like, dude, I don't want to do check-ins, I want to do this stuff. And so, you know, he's a big chunk of the story now, especially, well, grand scheme of things, he ain't shit for the story, but for this chapter of my life, he is massive in this chapter, you know? And very exciting stuff. So, all that to say, Mina's fucking awesome. And, but I just gotta, you know, do what's best for me as far as the opportunities go. Honestly, at the end of the day, if they both fell through, then I would still be able to make cool shit and be able to send it over to people, or not send it. Well, I guess I could, but, you know, go the SaaS route, which is software as a service, which is, I think you could say that Spotify is SaaS because it's software as a service, right? And if they get, yeah, I think that was a dumb thing to say. Of course, it's software as a service. So Spotify is a service. They provide music, and we listen to it. The other day, I asked how long golden hour was. I think that's pretty funny. I said it out loud, and I was like, they probably call it golden hour because it's an hour. But then I thought about that more in depth, and I'm like, well, it's not like very likely that it is exactly 1 hour. So it's probably like 45 minutes or 50 minutes, in which case it's not an hour. It just sounds good because it's much easier than saying golden 45-minute time allotted time slot or some shit. I don't know. Me being a smart ass, I guess. But anyway. So yeah, I got Mina's call in an hour, and then right after that, I'm assuming that's going to be an hour as well. I'm assuming that right after that, Lexi is going to show up. So then we'll do our thing because she's flying away tomorrow back home. She's going back home, and so we're gonna have our date night and stuff tonight. So that's why I'm recording. So all this 7.5 minutes of the podcast so far to say, I'm recording the show now in my car on my way to Target because I just have to do it now. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to do it later in the middle of date night, and I don't want to have to do that. I try my hardest to not have to do any of that shit during date night, but sometimes, well, it seems like I always forget something or I have to do something or whatever. Like tonight I'll have to upload the show, I'll have to do all that horse shit. But yeah, so anyway, so what I've been working on today is a whole bunch of tedious shit, stuff that I have no knowledge about whatsoever. So Brian doesn't want these script buttons on the form to pop up with a warning because it looks like it's sketchy or whatever, and I understand and I agree. However, it's like, dude, I'm in your organization. You don't got to worry about that. And like the people who use it, I'm going to be part of it. My face is with it. My name, everything is tied with it. You can just click, yes, take the risk or whatever, and it puts it through. The only reason why it says it's not safe is because it's saying that a script that went through or that I'm running was not verified by Google. So that script could contain whatever, and I understand that. But dude, all this work, because I have to verify the app, I have to put it through Google, I have to submit it through a verification process, and then I have to make sure that they approve it, and then make sure that I'm able to use it, make sure it doesn't violate anything. I have to make a terms of service, a policy, a private privacy policy. I have to make a demo video explaining how the script will be used, and I think I have to do that for every single goddamn one, and there's 6 of them. And this is why, it's so fucking hard sometimes to do shit, because it's just like unnecessary. All good, but I'm doing it. So I've been doing a lot of that today, and I've been learning about it, which again, I'm so grateful for that, because I wouldn't be touching this shit if I didn't have to. So I'm learning a lot. I got to resume recording this when I get back in the car, so it'll probably be in a half hour. I have 1 hour to shop, get back home, and then have the call. Holy fuck, dude. All right, wish me luck. Peace. All right, I don't got time to really re-listen and figure out what the hell I was talking about and shit, so we're just gonna go. The reason why I say I don't have time, I can just click play and drive, I get that, but when this microphone is plugged in, it doesn't allow audio playback through the speaker of my iPhone, which kind of sucks because it thinks that it is a speaker, so it plays through the speaker. However, it's not a speaker, it's a, what do you want to call it, a receiver. So anyway, I don't really know what I was talking about. I'm sure it's something to do with the work that I'm doing right now. But let's see. Yeah, so I don't even know what I was talking. So today, oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. I'm doing all the tedious shit, and I'm learning all that, and it's fine. But there is so much that goes into all of this, and it's probably not the greatest thing that I'm just going through it so quick and essentially copy pasting. But that's how I'm gonna get speed right now to get these projects done. And once I get the projects done, that's when I feel like I can take my foot off the pedal and then go back to learning mode, which would be, challenging myself and trying to actually learn what things are. Try to write very simple shit from memory rather than copy paste, because right now that's all I'm doing with these projects that I'm doing for Brian. When I'm talking about the big scripts and stuff like that, and the buttons, and because I know my way around into Google Sheets and Excel really well, and I can do some cool stuff on there without any help. But AI does speed things up, and if right now I can use AI to build something that works, and then kind of just chunk it at one bit at a time and know what things are what, I feel much more comfortable doing that. And when it comes time to fix something or whatever the case may be. So that's where I'm at with that. And so aside from the tedious shit that I did today, I was working on making the big spreadsheet that I made for Brian and Nick and Anna, who, I don't know how you say her name anymore. But I went from doing the spreadsheet to actually making a fucking website, a whole software, so that they can log in, put the data in, and then it's there, and it's a website rather than a spreadsheet, and that way there's a lot more functionality and a lot more things you can do, infinite things you can do. Not to mention you can make it look fucking sick. A spreadsheet, you can only go so far. But yeah, but the other thing that I'm learning, so my plan right now is to make exactly what I have in Excel as a website, but I know that I'm going to figure out better and more efficient ways to do this, and I know that half of what I'm making is going to be for nothing, but I'm going to be learning a little bit because, for example, I will have it generate me a block of code, like a function or something like that, and then it'll say, hey, you need to go back and change this, and that's where it's fucking confusing for me because I don't really know what I'm looking at. So when it says, hey, you need to go to data.form on submit, parenthesis, I look at that and I'm like, oh, I know exactly where that's at. It's above this function, it's between this. And then I'm able to go there, find the specific thing that it is asking to then change, and I'm able to change it. So right now, if anything, I'm learning structure of how code is and where things go and placement and how things work, how things stack on top of each other, how order matters. So I might not be learning individual aspects of which tags and attributes and classes and all this stuff to use for coding, but I am learning about the architecture of how shit works and where things are at and why things are the way they are, kind of. So I'm working on this stuff, but I'm also learning that part, which is really, really cool for me. So anyway, that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm making this spreadsheet into a website, and what's really cool is it's so fucking exciting for me because I'm making something that's going to be used. I mean, that's very cool, but that's not the exciting part. The exciting thing the exciting thing is for me is when I make something and I come up with the idea and I create whatever it is and it works, something always breaks. Something always then just doesn't work anymore. And that allows me to go in there and be like, hey, so when I created the click event, meaning when I click the button, something happens. When I made that, something else broke. And then I have to put it into ChatGPT and I say, hey, this broke when this happened. And then ChatGPT says, oh, right, because when you put this here, it overrides this because this is above that. we need to have this function closer to the other thing. That way it'll work. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I retain every bit of information that it says, but sometimes I'm like, before it even gives me the answer, I'm like, oh, it's not working because we got 2 of these here and then not 1 over there. That's exactly why. And sometimes I'm dead on. Sometimes I'm not even fucking close, dude. But the times that I'm right, I punch the air and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. I get so amped up. And it's cool because it's like I'm trying to make every possible thing go right as I go. You know, for example, I started off and it was just a button that says add data and then another button that says undo and then another button that says redo. And, you know, every time that I make big changes, a big string of changes, I copy paste those files and I save them and I call it just version, I call it literally V1.0. And then next time I make an iteration, I go V1.1. Don't know if that's the best practice, I don't know, but I don't want to go so deep into one thing that I can't go back, and I don't want to screw myself over in that regard. So it's almost like a video game, like a checkpoint or a save point, you know? It's like, I'm going to save here. So I just copy paste the current files, put them in a different folder, call that folder something else, and then I continue building on whatever it is that I'm building. But yeah, it started off as a button that says add data. That's it. And then it was a big horizontal row of information, like an Excel spreadsheet, because I know that I can go back and make it look different and change the style and things like that, and I absolutely will. But right now it's just not important. So if I can just make it look the layout at least how I want and then go back and make it nice, then I'm going to do that. So right now it looks fine for what it does, but I'm just going through and making adjustments to every single thing as it happens. So for example, when you delete a row, it deletes and it works, but when you click undo, it works, and then when you click redo, it works, but then when you click undo again, it doesn't work. So I had to explain the problem to ChatGPT, and then it gave me the code on how to fix that, where to put it, what lines to replace, what lines not to replace essentially, and then how it should look at the end. And then I save it, and then I run it, and then I've had to do a little bit of debugging, which is just, it throws an error, and then I say, oh, what the fuck? So line 75, it says that this is not correct. So I look at it, and I try, honestly, to look at that and try to figure out what the fuck the problem is. Right now, you know, I'm like 20% success rate. Like I'm 2 times out of 10, I call it out and I'm accurate. Other times I'm just not even close, not even in the ballpark. But I'm learning, and it's okay. But, you know, with AI on my side, I can kind of make whatever, and as long as it works the way that I want it to work, then we're chilling. You know what I mean? We're good. But anyway, so the undo button and the redo button, they'd work once, but after that I couldn't do it. Not that you would need to, but like what if you undid something, let's say you deleted something, then you undid it and you're like, I need that back. And then you click redo, and then you're like, yeah, I do need it back. And then you're like, you don't need it back. And then you go to click redo to get it back a second time, but it's gone. It's gone forever. Like I don't like that. I don't want to, so I figured out a way to make it so that it doesn't do that. And I'm just trying to figure out different ways to code all this shit. I gotta move my car, huh? I'll figure it out. And I'm just going on. I'm trying to add every single detail that I can as I go, as opposed to, it's not important, I'll worry about it later. Because, all right. Because for example, one of the things, so I made it so you click, you know how on normal software, if you want to delete a lot of stuff, you can select a little box, and then that will make everything else pop up with a box, and then you can select those little check boxes, and if you select 10 and you click delete, it'll delete those 10. So that's what I did, and I made it so it did that. But because it's a fucking computer and you have to explain literally every single thing you want it to do precisely, I had to tell it, okay, when we click a box, I want to be able to hold shift and then click the next box, and it will select everything in between, because I'm all about speed and efficiency, so let's make sure that happens. Then when I did that, it worked, but then when I would click out of it or whatever, it wouldn't go away, so then I had to specify, hey, give me a fucking button that says clear selection, and then when I click that, it gets rid of all the checked off boxes, and then I'm able to just continue on with my day. And give me that. And I'm having to spell everything out. And even though I'm not necessarily coding and learning coding, I am learning just logic. And that is, okay, when this happens, then this happens. And I shouldn't assume or expect something else would happen because I didn't specify it. So how could I expect it to know that I wanted it to clear if I click somewhere else without specifying that that's what I wanted? So if anything, I'm just learning logic and how that shit works and learning how to think codically, you know? That's me trying to say codically. Codically. But I'm learning how to just think in that regard. And it sounds so simple, I guess, but I mean, I don't give a fuck. I'm learning, I'm getting better. So it's like, okay, well, I gotta specify. It just makes me connect the dots a little bit differently with different things. I gotta go upstairs and get ready for the call with Mina. Holy shit. I gotta prepare this so it's cute for Lexi when she comes over. She's not gonna hear this until tomorrow or whenever. So I got her some goldfish, got her some applesauce. It's actually Mickey Mouse goldfish because she loves Mickey. Got her, what else I get? Got her some nanas, got her some soup. I think we're gonna go to Zupa's later, get her some more soup. Got some applesauce, like I said. Goldfish, like I said, because it's Mickey's. Okay, I gotta make it look cute for her. So let's put this shit over here. I'm just gonna walk and talk here. So anyway, I'm learning how to structure the shit. So like when I make something, I'm like, okay, well I'm gonna make this, but chances are it's not gonna know that I want something deleted over here. Chances are it's not gonna know that, like I just have to spell it out, you know? And that's the thing with ChatGPT is even though it writes the code for me, I still have to spell it out and say, hey, this is exactly what I want. Please do exactly that. And don't do this, don't do that. Even if this, don't do that. Don't worry about this, do this, you know, all that kind of shit. So, yeah, if anything, I'm learning how to think about how shit ought to be, and then I'm making it, hopefully that makes sense. I feel like I'm just talking in circles, to be honest. But, let's see, what am I doing here? So anyway, that's pretty much how shit's been going, and I've got the spreadsheet now, or the website, the software, whatever you want to call it. I've got it now to a point where I can add data, it stays there. I've got a database hooked up to it, so I had to register something through what's called Firebase. Made an account there, I put the code in there, got the keys and the tokens and all that shit, whatever the fuck that means. And I put it all in there, and now I'm able to store data, and I'm actually able to use the buttons on my website to add and remove those lines of data. And it's just so fucking sick, dude. And I've just been writing things down as I go of like what I want to add, what I want to remove, things like that. And just making sure that I'm as organized as possible so when the time comes for those features, then I can do that seamlessly because I know what I have and haven't done yet. So anyway, I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to end that there. I might say more later if there's time, but I'm going to have the one-on-one call with Mina now. I got to join the call right now. It's 5:29 p.m. Yeah. So I'm going to join that, and that's it. So here's the Zoom call. Peace. All right, here we go. Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, dude?
How's it going?
It's going. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. You?
Yeah, you just look upset.
I'm angry. Fucking angry.
All right, I'm ready.
No, I'm just kidding.
Lay it on me.
Let's just jump right into things.
Okay, cool.
So after our discussion on Friday, right? Like, I really thought long and hard, dude. You know, and I really, like, took a step back. And I'm going to be, like, super brutally honest with this discussion. Okay?
Cool.
I'm not going to lie. I was, like, really disappointed after the call. Because you got to see it from my perspective, Bryson, like as a business owner, right? Like you have someone who works for you, obviously, someone on your team, coming to you and basically saying like, actually we didn't talk Friday, we talked like Thursday, besides the point. And coming to me and basically saying like, yeah, I can work, but I'm choosing not to. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and also coming to me and saying, I fucking hate what I do, but I need the money. So I'm going to do it. Like, I'm just going to force myself to do it, which causes half-assed work sometimes, right? At the end of the day, that's how it is. And like you as a business owner would probably see it from the same perspective no matter what. Someone coming to you and telling you straight up, yeah, I can work, but I'm not going to. I committed to the 5 hours, but nah, I'm good, you know? So I took a step back and I was like, let me really sit on this and think about this, you know? Because I don't like to make rational moves by any means, irrational moves. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about, you know? And obviously I had to, not gonna lie, like it was not a great day for me either because that was our Good Friday. So there was a lot of fucking things happening. And I had to like basically in my Uber ride, like work on check-ins and I had to step in, which is fine. Like as a business owner, it's your responsibility, not anyone else's. And I had to assign some to like the other guys as well, add some more work to their plate. Besides the point, okay? So that was where my disappointment was. And I'm not saying disappointment as like a fucking, like a dad figure, but more just like, damn, like, you know, like this is something that shouldn't happen, in my opinion, you know, from someone who I got their commitment from. So I kept thinking, and I kept thinking to myself, like, what the fuck is there to do? Because obviously right now, if I were to give Bryson check-ins, he doesn't like them. And the fact of the matter is, it just seems like he's never liked check-ins. So there's been pushback on that, even though, yes, there was confusion on the contract and stuff in the agreement, which could have went both ways, okay? So I'm putting that out there, Bryson, because ultimately it's leading me to this decision. And like, I still want you to be a part of the fucking team. I think, like, generally speaking, and I actually talked to Brian about this too. Generally speaking, I think you're one of the smartest guys I know, like dead ass. I'm not going to stroke your ego, right? But truthfully speaking, you're fucking intelligent, okay? But I also think that's your crux too. You know, and I think you've told me that before. Like, you overthink on everything, and you, like, your mind sees everything.
I just overanalyze, yeah.
Yeah. So, the point of this discussion, right, and why I started with that is, like, I want you as a part of this team, Bryson, but I'm not going to force you to do something you don't want to do. And I want you as a part of this team, and the asterisk there is that never happens again, dude. Like at the end of the day, like, look, what we do is great. We get to work from home. We get to do all these different things. And, you know, we have the flexibility on this. But when we commit to something, man, like, you got to commit to it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So it would have been a different story if you told me, like, dude, I'm, like, super, like, something happened. I had a family emergency, whatever, God forbid. But that's why I asked, you know? So what I'm ultimately leading to is I want to discuss this operation manager role with you. And I'd like to offer that to you. But, man, it's on the contingency of, like, I can't have, like, if we're going to do 2 hours a day, once, like, your schedule opens up and stuff, 2 hours a day means 2 hours a day, you know? I can't go back and forth on different things, or I'll make up the hours another day, whatever. Like, we got to commit to it. You know what I mean? We talk about the responsibilities and all that later on, but I want to hear from you as well.
Yeah. So the 2 hours a day thing, if we start there, that is 100% doable if the resignation goes through. If it doesn't go through, then I could absolutely do, if it's this for example, if it's check-ins, then, like, I'd rather not, you know, we've already talked about that 100 times. But if it's like this operation and, like, we'll go over that, then that's different, because I've been, like, nonstop just, like, doing all this stuff on my own time, learning and trying to better, and I've just been obsessed. Like, it's just a no-brainer for me to just keep on going. So if it's along the same level of tasks or whatever, then getting 2 hours might be hard for me to stay under 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like, I'd probably go like 4 or 5, because I just love the shit so much. So that being said, if those, whatever the responsibilities are, kind of line up with that, if they do, then, and I don't do the resignation, then I think Saturday, Sunday, and then every other Friday. Well, I guess every Friday technically, but every other Friday I could do more hours. But I could easily do like 5 hours each those days, no problem. And then that would get whatever. If that's because you said 2 hours a day per week, that's 15 almost. So 5, that's 15. I'm just trying to match that. But if the resignation does go through, then like 2 to 3 hours per day, like 100%, like no question. If the responsibilities and everything line up to, I guess I'm ultimately going for.
Yeah, I honestly don't want to give you checkers anymore.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately because, again, like, no offense, don't take this the wrong way, but if I were to say the only thing that you can do are check-ins, then maybe we're just disconnected there, in terms of like the business and you, right? There's no point in working through a disconnect by any means, Basically what the role is I want you to be another me on the operation side, okay? So that means like tracking like KPIs, like tracking like all the different things. Like you'll be the central link, especially in terms of like me and the sales teams. Like you're looking at like the check-in log that you created, for example, and like making sure that check-ins have gone through. Like you have your time where you're going through like maybe on a weekly basis, whether you're doing it Saturdays or whatever. All right, these check-ins were missed this week. Then you notify the team, hey, these check-ins were missed. These need follow-ups this week. Like in terms of like you help like with the like the process optimization wise as well. So you look at processes and see where we're falling short. I'd love for you to see where clients are dropping off, like around the 3-week, 4-week mark. Why are they, like the trends in that sense, like why are they missing their fourth check-in consistently? Maybe that we need to set up some sort of call for them who signed up 4 weeks, 4 weeks in, things like that. SOPs, like, you know what I mean? Like for how to, you know how to do check-ins, so you can at least do an SOP on check-ins, right? Like the onboarding process, you look at the onboarding process, see where we can fix things as well, where are people continually missing on onboarding, things like that, okay? I want you to, and even actually, like, believe it or not, I'd like you to be hooked up with like Stripe too. So like you can see when payments are supposed to come through or what days people are due money, and you can go ahead and just authorize the payment if they have the payment method, or if a subscription doesn't go through, you notify me or whoever, hey, so-and-so's monthly payment was declined for whatever reason. Like that's operations in my opinion. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%.
Said, right?
Yeah, everything.
Oh, yeah. So like that's kind of the thing. You become the operations manager. So basically you become me, but in everything other than communication with the clients. You wouldn't really ever have to communicate with clients because we already have other people doing that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it sounds really juicy to me, but yeah.
Yeah. So in my opinion, right, I would want to see if your resignation goes through. I do think there's going to be a lot of merit for the daily. Because especially on the Stripe thing, for example, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot.
Wake up, exactly. See, okay, so-and-so is due a payment here. I have a log that you're going to hate, and maybe you optimize that as well. Where like I show the dates of like when someone's due money, and then I go ahead and authorize the payment, or I even send them the payment link. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Yeah. So that's the first aspect. And the second aspect is like, I know you're already exploring like CRMs and stuff, and like the APIs and everything. I actually know what an API is, believe it or not. Work with APIs.
Oh yeah, I'm learning that myself. So
yeah. So what's it called? Like, I'd love for you to at least explore what you can do with Go High Level, right? I personally, and this is not me bullshitting you, I personally think it'd be a huge plus if you knew how to use High Level, And you having access to our platform, I'm paying for it. You can just go fucking crazy and use it, learn it, right? Obviously, I benefit because you're learning as you're doing things for me, but you're benefiting because this is knowledge that you would ultimately have to buy High Level for yourself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then that goes it aligns with your ultimate vision of yourself too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
another win-win.
Yeah. So I win because shit that I need to get done high level gets done, and you win because you get to learn. You get to learn the platform, and you can probably like the automations and stuff are probably going to take you like years just to do. You know what I mean? Just to learn all of the automations, but they're crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They get pretty complex pretty quick.
Yeah. So like, and then of course like the operations wise, because you know high level, like, hey dude, I want to set up an automation for emails, automated emails. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, cool. I actually set that up. Like, you just do this every 2 days. They get an email that says this. Just tell me what you want me to say. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's how I envision. You'll literally be like my right hand guy when it comes to operations. You know what I mean? Like another me.
Okay. Makes perfect sense. Yep.
Good. I just want to be super clear.
Yeah.
Good. But yeah, so that's where I'm seeing. But again, bro, like, I'm not gonna say like this is like a fucking formal warning. I don't fucking do that shit. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, I can't have what happened last week. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't align with my vision of like who my team members could be. Does that make sense?
Yep. No, I completely understand.
Cool. Awesome. Do you have any questions?
Right in this very moment, I don't think I have any, but as usual, I'm sure as soon as we hang up, I'll have 80, you know, that's just how it works. But,
what are your honest thoughts of what I just said? Do you disagree with anything I said?
No, I mean, so what I have written down is I would track
before the onboarding thing.
Oh no, I 100% agree. Like I can call it whatever, but like you're not gonna hurt my feelings, by the way, if you say you disagree with me. No, I agree. I mean, I don't feel like that's appropriate not appropriate. I don't feel like that's cool what I did. However, so like from your point of view, like that is, you can call it like a dick move for sure. And then I'll have my point of view, which is like I had so much going on. Like it was like the last thing that I wanted to do was to, you know, put in time for somebody else's business when I can't even like eat my own. I don't even have anything to eat because I don't have food, you know? So like trying to do that, I have no clean clothes. Just everything that came all at once like that. And one thing, like, sounds dumb, dude, I get it. But I don't know, like when that was going on, I was just like, holy shit, like what is the number one thing I need to do right now? And I was just like, take care of me. And that's just, I mean, I guess it's selfish, but.
No, I get it 100%. It's just like, I get it. It's just like, from my perspective, I was like, what the fuck, you know? Like, sorry, I'm just very blunt. Like, I'm just.
Yeah, it's fine. I would prefer that over than like, oh, I get it, sweetheart. It's fine. You know?
Yeah. But like, look, I'm making a whole new role for you, bro. Like, that's
okay, let's hear it.
Like, that's the role, operation manager.
Oh, they said rule.
No, role.
Oh, okay.
Role. Like, I'm making up this fucking role for you, operation manager. You know, because I think that you'll excel in it, and it's a win-win situation. You will see what it takes. Bryce, you know how much money we're collecting this month?
Were you the person that hit 31K in the last 11 days?
No, I made more than that in 11 days.
You're gonna break six figures then?
No.
Oh, no.
Close.
85.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
That's like right now we're at, if like all the payments come through for the rest of the month, 77, and I'm sure we'll make some sales next week. So like around 80, 85.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Every time I ask you about these big wins, you always just give me the same.
Because I'm already looking for my next one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just don't really. What the fuck? Whatever.
That's insane to me, dude. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. But also, another thing that I need I need a tracker for my fucking finances. You know? I would love for you to be that, like, make a sheet for that. And you know what? If you make that sheet, bro, fucking copy it and keep it for your own and sell it to the other coaches. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, would you be opposed if... All right, continue that. I have a different idea.
Because what I'm saying, dude, is like, for you, what's going on is you're going to be working like in you can put this on your fucking like resume if you wanted, or your experience or whatever.
Portfolio for myself.
Portfolio. You're an operation manager for a coaching business that collects $1 million a year.
Damn. Yeah.
And everything that you do, in terms of me and my cheats and shit, make a copy, delete the data, and you have the framework, and keep it for your own. And when someone else needs it, hey, yeah, I have this whole pricing sheet for you. $100, it's yours. Whatever.
You just kind of sell it like low ticket like that? Is that what you would do?
Whatever. Or do a bundle or something, I don't know. It's something like that. Because, like, in essence, it's, again, a win-win. You're getting paid for it, right? Making it for me. I'm getting what I need. Like, I need a finance sheet. I need to see revenue. I need to see the wages for my guys. I need to see how much I spent on ads. All that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I want you to track that for me. And I think
I would love to do that. Like, that gets me excited. Like, I'm sitting here, like, you know.
Yeah, so I would tell you, all right, bro, this week we collected this month, or this payout was this month for this last week, whatever. And Darcy got 10% of this, Victoria got this, you get paid this, Johnny got this, whatever, every week, whatever. I'd love to see that, but I don't have that, believe it or not. I'm fucking making $80,000 a month, and I have no idea. You know? Yeah. It's insane.
You mean like finances with like everything? So like you pay for Gamma, you pay for Zoom, you pay like everything like that? Or do you mean?
Yeah.
Dude, that gets me fired up, yeah.
Yeah, and you'd break it down into subscriptions, you'd break it down into wages, you break it down into marketing.
Oh, I would obviously need your help for a lot of that. I'm not about to get your bank access and go through your bank statement.
Obviously, I'll tell you. It's word of mouth, obviously. But yeah. And I think that would work out well because then you're able to keep that for yourself too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
And, I'm making this role for you.
Yeah,
this is how much I appreciate your work, bro.
Well, I appreciate what you just said, but that almost makes me feel horrible. Like you made a whole role. You just made some bullshit up. I feel like, and you're like, I won't put it in here.
It's not bullshit. It's something that honestly, that's why I took my time to really think about this. Okay. I sat on the beach on Saturday or Sunday, whatever the fuck day it was, in Florida. I put my headphones in, listened to some fucking, like, actually EDM.
Nice.
And I just thought to myself, I was just like, what the fuck do I do? You know? Then I thought to myself, what's my bottleneck right now in terms of the business? It's me, and it's also leads. Next month might be a slow month, to say the least. I know, babe, we gotta go. Next month might be a slow month because of leads, just because I feel like we just withdrew so much fucking money, you know? So, yeah. Bottleneck is me, and my reporting is ass. Who do I know that's really good at reporting? Bryson. Who do I know that hates what he does right now? Bryson. Cool. I ran it by, and by the way, I ran it by B-Mark. I messaged him, texted him, and I was just like, yo, can I ask a question? He's like, yeah, sure. So I sent him a whole long voice, and I was like, yeah, bro, like this, and this. I'm thinking this, and this. And he was like, dude, it's a fucking intelligent-ass move. He's like, I know him. He's a smart-ass guy. And
you said that?
Yeah, B said that. Show you a screenshot if you want. Smart ass guy.
Yeah, I need to put that on my ego wall right over here, so you wouldn't mind.
But yeah, he said that, and he was like, "It's a smart ass move. Do it." I'm like, "All right, bet." You know what I mean? So we're gonna fucking do it, okay? But I need to know about the resignation too.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say for sure, but everything I'm seeing, dude, is... I mean, I've literally got the Reddit page pulled up with people reporting news because I'm just waiting. Everything that I'm seeing, there's not been one thing where I'm like, oh, shit, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm hesitant to even talk about it because I don't want to be like, yeah, and then like, oh, sorry, your position actually, you know?
Yeah, so we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But until then, like, I got to still put some things together for you to do. So I think this week at least, more than likely... no shift this week.
Okay, that's fine.
Because your responsibilities are covered. I had to transition David into check-ins, and then give him more hours on Fridays and Saturdays, and then by next week, maybe you'll have better news for me, and we'll see.
Yeah, well, the end of next week is when it would start, so I feel like I will know before the 1st. But because nobody can take it earlier than May 1st. So, and it's weird. So honestly, what I think will happen is, just based on how this shit works for me, is I would probably, let me pull up my calendar. So I'd probably get so how it works. So this week is the start of a new pay period for me. Mm-hmm. So it would be this week, and then next week, that's one complete pay period, which means that May 5th would be the start of a new pay period as far as working goes. And just like patterns that I notice, I feel like it would be that, because it would be really weird for me to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I just get a random Thursday and a random Friday off. That's just my prediction. Or I could be wrong and I don't even get it. So who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but just keep me posted whenever you get news. I'm going to work up an agreement, again, a new agreement for you.
I'll read this one all the way through.
Yeah, I was about to say, take your fucking time on it. But
I like how you're being jokey and shit, but dude, I do feel bad. I want you to know that, so I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's all good. You know what I mean? I'm glad that we found an agreement that works for the both of us. Just make it fucking count. You know what I mean?
Dude, I like this shit so much. Like, I fucking love it, so.
Yeah. And make it count, like remember, not just for me or for you, but this shit that you're doing now could easily be the groundwork into what propels you into your next, like, role or next even fucking venture. You know what I mean? Like, do it right now, because I'm sure it'll pay off. Like, I'm telling you, there's been 21 people that hit $100,000 a month in the MDM.
That's insane, dude.
Best believe I will fucking be there before someone gets to the 23rd or 24th.
Mm.
Like, 100%.
That's insane, dude.
So, if you do it for me, you can do it for fucking anyone.
Oh, the cool thing about all this software and shit is I make it once and I just make it once, yeah.
And by the way, with me, like, or at least with someone else too, like, Google Sheets is just fine. You know what I mean? If that's what you're talking about. Like, when you say software, are you talking about like an app or something?
Just all things like Google Sheet. Well, can I show you something real quick? You got to go. I heard you talk to.
Yeah, she's like gonna kill me. Just I got 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay, I'll hurry and pull it up. But I made this. They're called. Where the fuck is my mouse? I made this modal. That's what it's called. I don't know. That's what they call. You know what a modal is?
No.
Okay. Hold on. I'm talking to a really cool guy at the moment. So, 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, let me share my screen. Actually, I'm going to share a different one really quick. Okay, here we go. I know how to share my screen now.
So proud of you.
Yeah, can you see this?
Right, yeah. Yep.
Okay, so Janelle reached out and she wanted me to build this thing for him. I didn't make it, but I made all these buttons. So watch this shit. You ready for this? You're not even ready. Mm-hmm. So if I click this, there we go. This is all Google Sheets, and this is actually like shit that I type in. So this is what I was thinking with the green sheet. You know, I just type in whatever.
Motherfucker.
How fucking sick is this? So like if I made a master one. Look at this.
I knew it. Brian has been teasing that apparently there's like a crazy data spreadsheet coming for us. He's like, yo, you guys are never going to believe this. This is crazy. We have something crazy in the works for you guys. I was like, Bryson's fucking doing it. I knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that I don't know anything about that I got to fix. And Brian just tore me apart this morning, actually. He's like, what about this? What's this? We can't have this. Get rid of this. And I'm like, fuck, bro. It's good. But, I mean, I can show you how it works.
But that's the thing, right? Like, if you can do this, like, not to sound selfish, but if you can do this for me, right? And, like obviously be in the intricacies of someone's business itself, not just getting this from, like, Brian or Janelle, right? Doing this for others. Then you can have so much more foreknowledge that when you do it, you can do it right from the beginning. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I already have the templates and shit, or like at least in my mind how to just immediately do it. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. That, and plus you have an idea of what the hell they're looking for. Because like, no offense, Bryson, but like doing the CLA, So like what people are doing in the CLA is entirely different from what people do in the MDM, you know? Mm-hmm. So like you're encompassed in someone who's in the MDM doing all this shit. So then you have a better understanding of like what the fuck this means. You know what I mean?
Well, I love this shit. Let me hurry and show you what this does real quick. And I know you gotta go. Hold on.
You're good.
So, fuck. So, I think if I just... There we go. So this is all fake numbers. It's just made up just so I can show the example. But, again, I click this button and I type in... Let me show you. So I click this button, same thing pops up. I type in the date, explanation, the URL. This is what Brian wants for his tracker, for his social media. So like just a different format. So I click it, you know, and then I type in the views, all this stuff. I type it all in, click submit, and then it puts it right here, right? So that's how they can track some of this information.
Yeah.
And then that filters into this. So it's a whole big tracker sheet. So it's like, it's super detailed, and I don't even know how to explain it because I had a call with his video guy, and I was trying to explain it.
Nick? You talked to Nick?
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
He is a cool guy, but he was asking questions, and I'm like, man, I fucking suck at explaining, or it's just not laid out well. But for example, this is every single view total that in this fake numbers that he's ever gotten. This is every single comment. This is the average watch time. This is the average video length. And then that's all this information for just Instagram. That's all that information for just Facebook. And so on. Mm-hmm. And then there's all that information for every video where he's in his car, every video where he's in the gym, every video where, all this shit. And he's got a little heat map that says which is the best, which is the worst. So they can see that. And then it's got this comparison thing where you can compare like every single variable to every single variable. You can turn it on.
You did all this?
All from scratch. Actually in one day.
You did all this?
Yeah. Like from scratch. That's what I'm saying, bro. Give me some of this to do,
Yeah.
Also
that's what I need. Like, I'll literally make a fucking list of, like, sheets and shit, like, trackers that I need, and we'll do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then that's the other thing, which was one more... This is the last thing. Where the fuck is it? I'm working on actually making software for this shit because I think that's cool. And making it so I don't have to use a spreadsheet. Because there's actually a lot of restrictions with spreadsheets. Where the fuck is it? Is it this? Sorry, one sec, dude. Where is it?
You're good. I'm actually gonna make
here it is.
A post on the community. Go ahead.
So what I just showed you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oops. So this thing here, or this I should say. So this, where you click a button and then you submit all the form, or you submit all the shit, right? Am I still sharing my screen, dude? Where did it go? I'm sorry.
I see it. I'm watching.
Okay. Dude,
watching the sheet.
Okay. So this thing right here is the same thing. Dude, I'm so sorry.
You're good. I'm literally multitasking right now as well while you get that.
Okay, here it is. So this thing is the same thing as this thing, but it's actually all code. This is all software. So at the post data, same shit. And this is all fake. I just submit. There it goes. And then I'm able to, click, delete. I made all this from scratch as well. Use a lot of AI and stuff. But this, because it's an actual website and it's an actual software, you can do so much more. And it stores it all in a database and all this stuff. But this will allow for so much more customization, and so that you log in and check your own account. You can see all this stuff for yourself. But I made this from scratch today as well. But the idea is to make it into website. I don't feel like website's the right word, but like an Everfit or like a Go High Level. You log in, you see all that shit, and then all the data is there, and then you can. But it's like all customized to what I want to see and what somebody else wants to see, because there's so much limitation with spreadsheets. And anyway, so as I was going to say earlier is I don't even have a problem doing this on my own free time, and then just like put however many hours on the whatever payroll, even if it took me 100. I love this stuff so much, dude, that I would happily do it for free, and then just like do some kind of project or something. Like
well, at the end of the day, also, like, you got to remember, like, this is also benefiting you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, I just... So sick.
Can I ask you something before I let you go?
Yeah.
How much are they paying you? I'm like very curious.
Literally the same. It's it's $1 more per hour, because you're at 30 an hour for me. They literally. Well, Brian asked me how. It's funny. He said, "How much do you want to make?" And I was like, $10,000 a month. And he was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh fuck," And he says, "No, that's too high, dude." And I was like, "Okay, 7.5." And he's like, you know, dude, this is actually going to be like a part-time thing, so I don't know if we can reach, you know. And I was like, fuck, okay, well, can you just match? He said, can you do 25? And I was like, well, can you match what I make now? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I make 31.28, but we just put it at 31. So literally $1 more. But
wait, you told him that you're making 31.28 with me or with your other job?
Oh, at my full-time job, like my normal job. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Does he know you're working for me, by the way?
Yeah, I mentioned it. Yeah, I mentioned that I phrased it like, you know, Mina from the MDM. I'm a shadow coach for him, just in case you want to connect the dots. And then I can't remember what he said, but he said might not have even been him, dude, because I know he's got people running his Instagram. So
yeah, it probably wasn't him. It's probably McGill.
Interesting. Yeah. So in my mind, I was like, if the resignation goes through, then like fucking perfect. Like what a dream for me, you know. Mm-hmm. So anyway.
All right, dude. Well, I'll keep you posted with everything. I'll try to write up something. You keep me posted with the resignation. I like what I see here. Like for sure, this can be super useful, and plus, like, it'll be even awesome because you'll show us how to use it, and then of course, like since you're responsible of tracking, you'll be able to know how to use it too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, you can get Instagram's API and make it all automated. So this is all manual input. You can make it all auto, and like, fuck, dude. Oh my god, that's crazy. Yeah. Bet. All right, bro. Cool. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you taking the time to make this happen today instead of tomorrow. I appreciate the time, too. And I, look, man, at the end of the day, like, I wanted to have this conversation with you because, like, I value you as a part of the team, you know? And I wanted to do this 100%. But I just wanted to make sure it made sense for the both of us. Okay? Yeah. So we'll talk more for sure. And if you have any questions, let me know. Okay? Okay. Thanks so much, dude. I appreciate you taking time to think as well and go over. Yeah. Yeah, I had to take a step. I was angry. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I just took a step back. I was like, chill, relax. Let's go from there. Okay? Yep. Cool. Well, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Got you, bro. Talk to you soon. Okay. See you later. Peace. Oh man, put me under the fire a little bit, but I think rightfully. Well, dude, I don't know. This is what I'm gonna say. So last Friday, I told him that I had so much different things I need to get caught up on that I didn't or couldn't work or whatever. The fuck? And I stand by that because I was so overwhelmed with so many different things that I had going on that the last thing I wanted to do was just sit there and do check-ins. And I meant what I said, you know, like I didn't have any food. I had to, you know, do a little bit of meal preps. I had to, you know, do my laundry. That was because I was lazy and I didn't manage my time, and because I couldn't handle my own shit, I got behind, and that's pretty much what happened. And so I told him, no, I'm not gonna work. And even though that put him in a sticky spot and he had a bad day, I know that, and I feel bad. I do feel bad. However, I'm still I'll defend my stance on the Hill that, you know, you can't pour from an empty cup. You got to take care of yourself. You got to put your own mask on before you try to help other people put theirs on. You got to help yourself first. And even though I put other people in a sticky position, I'm looking out for me. I'm all I got, you know, and I feel like that my decision is justified, and I feel like it was the correct one, all things considered. And, just, I guess, thank goodness that Mina is understanding and has different ideas and is willing to take a step back and think, because now it's afforded me a new position. But maybe, you know, this is me just thinking the other way. Maybe it wouldn't have happened at all. Maybe he wouldn't have thought that at all if I wasn't so adamant that, hey, I don't want to do check-ins anymore. I do need the money, and I'm being 100% honest with you. So maybe if I wasn't that, I don't know if abrasive is the right word. Maybe if I wasn't that abrasive, it would have been better, or it would have been worse, and I'd still be doing check-ins, you know? And the funny thing is I totally spaced that I even had to do check-ins tomorrow, because I have plans to do stuff. Well, first of all, I'm taking Lexi to the airport, and then I'm doing some stuff with my mom for her birthday, and she just wants to have a low-key thing. So that's actually what I did for my birthday. I wonder if she's copying me. But I didn't want a big celebration with the whole family. I just wanted my mom and my little brother. That's all I wanted. But my mom was like, oh, invite your grandma, grandpa. So I was like, okay. And that's what she's doing. She's doing the same exact thing. And I was like, I've got different opinions on birthdays, you know, like, fuck. I think birthdays should be about the mom that gave birth. If my birthday happens,
I don't think anybody should give me attention. I don't think anybody should give me anything. I think it should all go to my mom because she's the one that gave birth. She's the one that carried me for 9 months. She's the one that went through whatever kind of experience childbirth is. She went through all of that. She made the choice to do so, and yet we celebrate me for just simply staying alive. And I don't, maybe that's a sensitive topic. If you're battling some kind of disease or, if you're cancer and you're a survivor or whatever, then yeah, celebrate your life, I guess. But for me, I've just simply existed and I've not died. And so I don't think that's deserving of any celebration. Maybe we go out to dinner and we just say, hey, congrats on not dying. But I think that it should be about the mom. For me. Now, other people, I'm cool. We'll go out to dinner, we'll have your thing, we'll celebrate you turning, however old you're going to turn, all good. But for me, it's just not a big deal for me. And I think the older I get, the more I realize, like, what the fuck are we doing this for? It's just something that we've always done, so we just always do it now. There's so much shit. This is a whole different rabbit hole for me. But there's just so much shit we just do because we've always done it. We don't even stop to think or consider why we do it. It's just like, oh, we've always done it this way, so it's just what we do. It's like, but why though? Like, yeah, we celebrate birthdays, but why? Just why, I don't know. Call me a bah humbug or a Scrooge or a lame ass, but dude, fuck. Yep, Earth rotated, sun rotated, orbited around, solar system moved X amount of times and X amount of, years and days and weeks, and the moon went, and here I am still. Yep, let's fucking have a burger. When you break shit down to the lowest form, to the simplest form, it just becomes so fucking ridiculous. Like, yeah, we were born on this floating rock in space of infinite expanding nothingness. That's from a comedian, I can't remember his name, Pete Wallace or Pete something? Pete something. Pete something. We're on this floating rock in the middle of the fucking galaxy of nothingness that's infinitely expanding forever. And the Earth has just orbited or rotated, whatever the fuck the proper verbiage is, around another floating rock that's just so fucking hot. And then we celebrate the fact that we are, still conscious enough to know that we have rotated. And who's to say that we even fucking know that? There's so much shit that we are just told and taught, and we just assume that it's true. And I'm not about to go a fucking crazy weirdo psycho here. But like, unless you've actually seen the Earth from outer space, you have no idea what the fuck Earth looks like. And that sounds crazy, but yeah, we have photos, yeah, we have satellites, yeah, we have all that shit. But dude, unless you've actually seen it with your own two eyes, you don't know. You can only take people's word for it. And it's the level of trust that you have in the source that I think dictates the amount of credibility that you can give something, in which case, and then in turn, how much, I guess, validity you give it. I think I said the same thing 8 times in a row there. But whatever, all that I just said, in turn makes it how much you trust whatever it is and believe the thing that is what it is, Like we can see the moon from Earth, so we all know what the moon looks like. And we've seen photos from satellites and all that shit that's what the moon looks like. So it's a much closer bet that, yeah, I bet the moon does look like that. But with Earth, we don't know. Unless you have been to space and looked at the Earth, you don't know for sure. You just know what photos of what other people have taken from satellites and stuff. But how the fuck do you even know what a satellite looks like? You've never seen one. Dude, you Photoshop anything, especially with AI. And I'm not saying that I don't believe that we know what the Earth. I'm not saying that shit. I'm just saying that you don't know. To the same extent that if somebody came up to you and said, "Oh my hell, somebody just took a shit in aisle 5," it's like, "Oh man, that's crazy. That's gross." You don't know if they did or not. You can only trust the person that said it. And if you trust them, then I guess trust them. But you will never know if that's true or not. If you did not see it with your own two eyes, you will never know. It doesn't matter if somebody took video footage. It wouldn't matter if somebody did some news coverage or whatever. You wouldn't know. You could only trust that the source is telling the truth. And that's fucking everything, dude. I think about this all the time. Dude, I'm not even making this story up. In 6th grade, my teacher, Mr. Johnson, said that I said that what did he say? He said something like, a perfect circle is perfectly round and there's no edges or whatever. And I remember saying something like, if you were to zoom in so much, there would be jagged edges because it's so microscopic that there's no such thing as smooth, you know? If you zoom in close enough, it's fucking jagged and it's canyons and smooth. I mean, the earth is a perfect ball. However, you zoom in quite a bit. We got mountains, we got cracks in the road. Shit's not smooth. Eat my ass. So what I was saying in fucking 6th grade was, no, a circle is not round, and no, it's not smooth. There are edges, there are jagged shapes and corners and shit if you zoom in far enough. And he argued, we went back, I say argued, but we went back and forth, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, and I was just like, okay. Dude, I was in 6th grade, bro. You know? This is not a new way of thinking for me. I fucking believe this since I was in grade school. Mr. Johnson. Remember, I was sitting right underneath him. I was looking up. We did these art decorations. There was this silver tin shit that was almost like a windmill thing hanging from the ceiling, because you put it in the ceiling when you're at elementary school. It was right above me. I looked up, and he was right there looking down at me, and he's like, yes, it is. I said, no, it's not. He said, yes, it is. And I said, okay. I go, fuck myself then, Mr. J. Oh, dude, I am dead serious. True story. So, anyway, all that to say, we don't really know shit. We can only take people's word for it. And how much you trust something is how much belief or how much credibility. What am I trying to say? How much belief or how much credibility you give something is, I guess, a pretty good indicator of what you believe in life. Why do people not believe in CNN news? Why do people not believe in what Biden had to say? Why do people not believe in politics? Why? You know, why? You have to ask why. Look at the track record. Look at the shit that's being reported versus reality. Oh, dude, fuck me. Okay, well, that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to move on. That Zoom call with Mina went well, and I like that it went that way. I like that he's a good guy like that, and I'm not going to lie. I was actually worried that he would be upset that I'd be working for Brian. Because truthfully, you know, me going from 5 hours with Mina to part-time with Brian, I didn't want him to be like, oh, what the fuck, you traitor? But he didn't take that way at all. But dude, for Brian to say, oh yeah, he's very intelligent, or whatever the fuck Mina said, dude, stroke my ego, I guess. But dude, that was just cool, you know? It's like everything that I've just wanted my whole life, to be seen as somebody who is not dumb. I've talked about it on the show before. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like it's coming true. It's like I got a position in life where I'm using my brain, and I'm stoked about it. I'm bettering myself. I have opportunities lined up. I'm building shit that excites me, that's gonna help people, that's gonna make things better for us. Dude, it's fucking sick, dude. Literally, 1 week goes by, I make a decision, my whole life fucking changes. What's so funny about this is everything changes, but nothing changed at all. I still live in the same spot. I eat the same food. I go to the same gym. I work at the same job. I see the same people. Nothing changed there. But my excitement and the things that I look forward to and the things that fill my brain changed everything. I mean, I have fucking goosebumps right now. Everything stayed the same, but everything was different. Like, holy shit, you know? How can I make that into a cool quote? Everything stays the same, but everything stayed the same, but everything changed. That sounds fucking corny, bro. Let's move on. So this is exciting because I don't work yeah, that's where I was going. So I totally forgot that I even worked for him tomorrow, because I got stuff for my mom's birthday set up, and that was going to be my evening. I was going to go over there to my mom's house, and it was just going to be us, the little family, and then do our thing. And then, I was just probably going to stay there all night and do my thing. But that would have sucked if I was like, oh, sorry, Mom, I got to respond to 20 randoms and tell them that they're doing good with their diet. You know? So thank goodness that he canceled that shift, not me, because I would have been, oh man, I would have been something else. All in all, I feel good about where things are, because I feel like despite letting Mina down and failing to uphold my commitments, I guess, I was honest. I was truthful to myself and what I wanted. I said, hey man, I need the money and I will do this. However, I don't want to. However, I don't like to. However, I will, but don't want to. And truthfully speaking, I'm so behind in life, can't even take care of my own shit. I'm not going to work. I'm sorry. However, I got to take care of myself. And I feel damn good about that, because I was true to myself. I was honest. I didn't beat around the bush. I didn't say, hey man, fuck, I'm sick. I got XYZ, X going on, blah, blah, blah. I wonder if there's a way in the future to be able to tell based on the tonality of these podcasts which ones, and like give it a rating and figure out which episodes I'm hyped up and which episodes I'm not doing well on and which episodes I'm tired, and then give each one a rating and then see the trend line of each episode, because I guarantee you in the last 7 days that trend line has just went like a boner under the sheets, dude. Like the trend line is just, I guarantee you it's just through the roof right now. That's pretty funny, huh? So yeah, I'll make a software that does that. Dude, honestly, I don't really even give a shit if, I do, but I'm just saying this because I'm hyped up. I don't even give a shit if I make anything worthwhile. I think it's so much fun making stuff. And I don't even know how to make it. I'm just using AI, dude, which is just proof, just fucking proof that if I knew how to make it, I so would. And I would just be doing it all day long, you know? Because here I am making this tracker sheet. I'm just making it off of what a spreadsheet is and just kind of going from there. I'm sure I'll have to make adjustments and changes later, and I will, but that's just more opportunity for me to learn. And yeah, anyway, let's go back to what Mina was saying. Actually, let's see. The fuck are we doing here? Somebody just, I don't know what's going on. So I wrote some notes from the Zoom call. You guys already heard it, but I'm just going to repeat it. So operations manager, I'd be another Mina just on the operations side. I'd be the central line for all things Mina related, but operations. And when he said I would do everything except communicate with clients, I was like, oh, dude, sounds exactly what I want to do. Because not that I have anything against clients or the people who literally pay him money. But dude, let me make your life easier. Let me run shit and let me figure out the numbers and the data and the drop-off points and the client cycle, all this shit. Let me do that. You worry about the cottage cheese and the peanut butter, you know? So we got check-ins, like which check-ins were missed to send a report out. I can already think of how I would automate that. You know, I'd put everybody into a spreadsheet. I would go through, figure out who did and who didn't check in based on the percentages in the form shit, because I think I can get that through the APIs. So I can download that, automate that, send out an auto report through email, through apps, through the scripts. That could go to Mina, he would know, or I could send it out, whatever. Next one is process optimization. That would just be ongoing. So with what I see people do and how people do it, I would probably just evaluate how much time is spent doing whatever the process is and then look to make adjustments there. That would just be ongoing, so I might save 10. So, I mean, for fuck's sake, dude, I spent 2 hours trying to save 2 seconds. And I bet you that has added up now, because 2 seconds, I'd have to go 30 episodes to get a minute back. Nah, I'm probably not there yet. But it will save me time in the long run. Matter of fact, it might save me even more time because it saves me that frustration and bandwidth to type in all that shit. I just go bam, bam, everything I wanted is typed. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I spent 2 hours trying to figure out how to automate a keystroke on my MacBook that it would put the day of the week, the month, the day of the month, the year, and then the time in a specific format where I would just essentially just push 2 buttons and it does that rather than typing it all out. So yeah. So let's just say it was 10 seconds, save me 10 seconds. 6 episodes is a minute, which means 60 episodes would be, is that how that works? No, it's not how that works. 360 episodes would be an hour, right? 60 episodes is a minute. Wait, what? 6 episodes is a minute. 360 or 36 episodes. Who gives a fuck? I'm done. Then we have client lifecycle trends. I can think of how I would do that, but I don't know. That's actually pretty, because he's got like 150 clients and I'm not about to go in there every single day and see where everybody's at every day. That's fucking crazy. If it took me 1 minute per client, I'm already over. I'm at 2.5 hours. If it took me 1 minute per client, I'm not doing that shit. So I'll figure it out. Third-party calls, like I'd call, verify, see how they're doing. I could do that 100%. SOPs, that's like making Loom videos and writing guides and doing all that shit. I do that at work all day long. I love that shit. I made a whole pamphlet step by step with page numbers and references on what to do, how to do it, what pages to go to, tier times, everything, and no China. You cannot have this. Eat my balls. And I made this because I just wanted to, and I wanted people to have it so they knew what to do. Turns out it's illegal because it's fucking government, but it's all good. And I made that for fun. And I read all the books that we have up at work twice, front to back, twice. so that I could go through, make sure I had all the information, put it into a guide, and then I could reference that guide. And guess what, dude? I use that shit almost every time I have work. And guess who doesn't work? Also found out today that I'm not going to get any work whatsoever. I think I said this, until we get cleared with the resignation or rejected, because the manager thinks that it's best if I don't have any work until we know, because it would be unfair for somebody else to have to take on the workload of somebody else's canopy if I left. And I think that's an interesting thing to say or to do, because there's always been multiple teams in my shop that don't have work to do. So if I have work and then somebody else doesn't, they would just take over. So there's a solution there. Also, if everybody had a canopy, we can run two at the same time. So a team would just have two. That's nothing out of the ordinary. That's what's going on in my head, but out loud, I'm like, dang, fuck, okay, fine. Sucks, gonna be a long 2 weeks. But now I'm fucking hyped because I get to work on all my stuff all day long. Or at least, not that I do, but I have the opportunity to. And pretty fucking sick, so that's that. Onboarding adherence, so that'd be, honestly, at the time of this recording, I can think of how I would do it, but actually doing it, I guess it would just depend on how far along I am with software development and stuff like that, because I can make this stuff work. But yeah, I don't know. I gotta figure out how to work smarter, not harder with this shit, because I'm working on this current project now, and I want to be able to reuse some of that code, but truthfully, I don't know which code I can and can't reuse. So anyway, then we have Stripe and payments. I know Stripe is very dev happy, savvy, whatever, meaning they've got a lot of shit, public access with the APIs and stuff, which I don't even know what the fuck that stands for. Something public interface? Asshole public interface? I don't know. And that way I'm sure I could do a lot of stuff with that. And then learn high level. Honestly, that one was kind of a turnoff, because go high level, I don't want to have to, I want somebody to set it up and then I'll run it from there, you know? Because that's one beast of a software that I don't even know what things do what. But as far as the automations and the emails and the campaigns and that stuff, 100%. So that's what Mina kind of went over in the Zoom call. And yeah, I'm on board with that. That's fucking sick. I agree with all of that. So I'm checking Lexi's location. She is still not left. We are good. So anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say. But yeah, life just fucking changes quick, huh? Very cool. Very, very cool. And what's really cool is the fact that it changed so quick, despite having a lot going on, and with all the birthdays in my family, all the different family get-togethers and events, and small little extra things like I'm talking small things, like I gotta go here, I gotta go shopping for this thing, I gotta go and gotta run errands over here, I gotta go shop here, I gotta sacrifice. Yeah, I think kinda. This weekend to go and spend it with family and celebrate whatever. All that together, and then we have me taking this opportunity with PT domination, and then so on and so forth. And I don't know, it's just cool. Life happens quick. This actually, I was talking to Lexi about this. I'm gonna say this and then end it. It's a good way. It's a good note to end on. But there's that quote from Alex Hormozy. He says, it happens slower than you think, and then faster than you can imagine. Yeah, it happens slower than you think and then faster than you can imagine. Part of me thinks that that's what this was, because I have been grinding for the last, what episode is this? I've been grinding for, whatever episode this is, add like 100 days. Because I started 75 Hard June 29th. Yeah. Wait, no. July 29th. What the fuck was it? July 20... The fuck was it, bro? What was it? So I finished on October 11th. So if you go back, September, August, July. So July to August to September. Yeah, so July 29th. Why do I feel like it wasn't that? Okay, final answer, July 29th. Started that July 29th, 2023. Started the podcast October 20th, I think, 2023. So add 80 days. So whatever episode this is, I think it's 552. So almost 2 years. Been grinding for 2 years, every single day, doing something, trying to make something happen, altering my path to see if I can get to the goal in a much more efficient way, or to see if something makes more sense for me. And after 2 years almost of just every day going at it, here we are, finally found something that's clicking for me very well. I'm hyped about it. I'm pumped every day to do this shit. I willingly spend, dude, I almost told Brian, like, hey, if you need to lower my pay so that you can afford to pay me to work more hours, then absolutely. But I didn't want to pull that card yet. But dude, shit, I didn't even log the hours that I spent working on this software shit that I'm making. I just don't feel like it's the right thing to do, because they're not expecting that of me. They want me to do the spreadsheet. And I'm going to do the spreadsheet, but yeah, I love it so much. Dude, I don't know what to say. It's just so fucking sick to me. So it just feels cool, man. I finally found a little groove that I know that I'm going to do well in, and it's going to pay well later in life, and it's going to afford me a lot of cool fucking shit in life. So all because I didn't give up. And, I thought about quitting and giving up daily. Never considered it, though. And I don't care what you want to label me moving on from fitness coaching to this. If that makes me a quitter, then fuck yeah, I'm the biggest quitter of them all. If it means that I stop wasting my energy doing something that I don't want to do, and instead invest into something that I geek out about and I love and excited about every day, then dude, hell yeah. I'm a fucking quitter then, if that's the case. But that's it. It happens slower than you think and then faster than you can imagine. It's from Alex Mosey. Cannot fail if I do not quit. So made it to this point and we keep going. Here we go. So that's the show, guys. I know we talked about a lot, but I just want to point out the fact that on episode 100, it was my goal to make these episodes 1 to 3 minutes long. This one is an hour and a half, so really over-delivering there. And now I'm congested for some reason, so. Okay, that's it. Love you guys. Thanks for listening. Peace the fuck out.